They are getting ready for a couple of weeks' worth of funerals in Uvalde, Texas, the victims of last week's gun massacre. The first funeral is tomorrow. 10-year-old Amere Jo Garza, followed by her 18 classmates and 2 teachers. This as we learn more tonight about the 911 calls from students who were begging from their classroom, begging for cops to help them. The Justice Department now reviewing why cops didn't storm the school earlier. Here's Eyewitness News reporter Josh Einiger.
President Biden spent this Memorial Day weekend at the memorial to murdered children in Texas. 19 of them and their 2 teachers slaughtered in their classroom last week. After he spent nearly 4 hours greeting devastated families, a wave of protests greeted him. Do something, they said, on guns. But back in Washington, the president acknowledged there's only so much he can do without Republican support.
I can't dictate this stuff. I can do the things I've done, and any executive action I can take, I'll continue to take. But I can't outlaw a weapon. I know that it makes no sense to be able to purchase something that can fire up to 300 rounds.
Over the weekend, a bipartisan group of senators has supposedly engaged in serious negotiations on a bill to address America's gun problem, including so-called red flag laws, which would allow law enforcement to prevent the mentally ill from buying a firearm, along with expanded mental health and school security resources, and the big fish, expanded background checks, something 89% of Americans support. Connecticut Senator Chris Murphy, who's been fighting for gun control laws since Sandy Hook almost 10 years ago, says he's been surprised at how much progress his colleagues have made.
In the end, I may end up being heartbroken. I am at the table in a more significant way right now with Republicans and Democrats than ever before.
Guy with a rifle.
Meanwhile, ABC News obtained new video from during the siege that appears to include a 911 dispatcher relaying important information to officers on scene.
Is there anybody inside of the building? Child is advising he is in the room full of victims at this moment.
Remember, more than one child called during the massacre, begging for help from inside the classroom, but officials said the incident commander never got that information and assumed there was no further risk to life.
8 to 9 children.
This video would suggest dispatchers did relay that information. Now the Justice Department is investigating the botched response, an important step to be sure, but far too late to save nearly 24 innocent victims. Josh Einiger, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Well, meanwhile, an outpouring of support for the family of the teacher killed in the Texas shooting and her husband who died of a heart attack. A GoFundMe page for Irma and Joe Garcia's children has raised over $2.7 million. Different family members set up 2 pages, then combined them. The Garcias had 4 children. The youngest is 13.